In the very last book of the Bible, there's this one image that is so incredibly powerful, so absolute, that it's captivated people for centuries. It's a vision of cosmic judgment, and it's all captured in a single devastating moment. Today, we're going to unpack one of Revelation's most profound symbols, the Great Millstone.
I mean, just try to picture this scene. A mighty angel, a being of just immense power, hefts a stone. And we're not talking about a pebble here. It's like a great millstone, the kind of thing that would take enormous effort just to budge. And then with one single powerful motion, he hurls it into the sea. The sheer scale is just epic, and the action feels so final.
But here's the thing. This isn't just a random act of destruction. No, it's a coded message, a prophecy just brimming with symbolic meaning. So that leads us to the big question, right? What does this violent vision really mean? Well, to figure it out, we're going to have to become textual detectives and start following the clues. Okay, so our investigation is going to start with the original language of the text itself. See, the specific Greek words that the author uses aren't just descriptive fluff. They are packed with layers of meaning, and they're absolutely essential if we're going to crack this code. So check this out. These Greek words, they build a really specific picture for us. The angel isn't just strong, he's ischurus, which means a mighty, powerful force. The fall isn't just violent, it's with hormeity. That means a sudden, decisive, completely irresistible rush. You gotta think less about raw brutality and more about an unstoppable impulse. And then you get this Greek double negative, ou me eti. In English, this is the most emphatic way you could possibly say, by no means will it be found anymore. It signals absolute, permanent finality. All right, so with these linguistic clues in our back pocket, we can start decoding the symbols themselves. And our starting point has to be the main object of the whole vision, that millstone.
Now, this kind of imagery wasn't brand new to the Apostle John. Jesus himself had used it. He gave this absolutely chilling warning as a metaphor for the most severe judgment you could imagine, a fate even worse than a brutal death for anyone who caused his little ones to stumble.
But who were these little ones he was talking about? Well, in this context, Jesus was directly referring to his apostles, his humble, seemingly powerless messengers. So to harm them or to reject their message was to reject him. And this points directly to the main crime that this system called Babylon is accused of.
So who exactly is Babylon? Well, in the symbolic language of Revelation, it's not a literal city over in Iraq. It actually represents the corrupted religious system of that day, the old covenant order that had gotten all tangled up with worldly power. The very system that silenced the prophets, crucified the Messiah, and then went on to persecute his apostles. Okay, now the symbolism gets even deeper. The stone isn't just some random tool that the angel picked for judgment. No way. In a really profound sense, the stone is the agent of judgment.
If you look throughout the scriptures, the stone is this recurring symbol for Jesus Christ himself. He's the cornerstone that the builders rejected. He's the stone from Daniel's vision, the one cut without hands that shatters all the earthly kingdoms. And Jesus himself warned that whoever falls on this stone will be broken, but if it falls on you, you'll be crushed. So to put it simply, the millstone judgment is a vision of Christ himself overthrowing a false religious foundation.
So what system are we talking about being thrown down? This slide really lays out the huge contrast. The Old Covenant system, it was defined by a physical, earthly temple, a constant cycle of animal sacrifices, and a priesthood based on your family tree. But the New Covenant way, the one established by Jesus, is a spiritual temple made of living stones with one perfect sacrifice for all time, a high priest who lives forever, and a veil that has been torn right into. The millstone represents the final removal of that first system to permanently establish the second. But let's go back to that word violence. It sounds like war and bloodshed, right? But remember that Greek word, hormeity? It implies something more like a decisive spiritual force. In the symbolic world of Revelation, you always have to look a little deeper. Think of this violence in prophetic layers. A millstone violently separates wheat from chaff, right? It crushes what's false. A wine press violently separates juice from the skin, treading down whatever is fruitless. And a refining fire, well, it violently separates pure metal from all the worthless dross. See, in every single case, the violence is a divine act of purification and separation.
So what's the takeaway? The violence that throws down Babylon is the finished work of the cross. It was the ultimate, decisive, spiritual assault on that whole system of deception, legalism, and death.
It didn't just challenge the old system, it overthrew it completely.
And this all leads us to the final, absolutely chilling words of the angelic proclamation. This is the knockout punch. This is the ultimate declaration of what has been accomplished.
Found. No more. At all. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't just about something being destroyed or defeated. This is about complete and utter removal from existence. It is an irreversible finality.
So what this finality really means is that the old covenant system is abolished. It's not just on pause waiting for a comeback. The earthly temple system, with all its rituals and animal sacrifices, is permanently replaced. It has been completely fulfilled in Jesus, who established a new and living way forever. It's like the book of Hebrews says, he takes away the first, that he may establish the second. And so this brings us to a final and, I think, crucial question. If the epic fall of Babylon, cast down by a mighty angel at the Great Millstone, is actually a spiritual event symbolizing the finished work of the cross, then what other dramatic prophecies out there might also be more symbolic than literal? It really changes how you read everything, doesn't it?